Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into something that literally affects almost every ambitious business on the planet. We are unpacking the ultimate global privacy benchmark, GDPR compliance. In a digital world completely without borders, mastering this framework isn't just some regulatory checkbox you tick off. It's an absolute necessity for expanding your business and building global trust. We're going to distill some incredible insights from Cyber Ambassador's comprehensive GDPR audit framework to show you exactly how this works in the real world.
Here's the roadmap for our journey today. We'll start with a global privacy benchmark, move into how weakness turns into real risk, walk through a 7-step compliance roadmap, talk about expanding your global market, and wrap up with the Cyber Ambassador advantage.
All right, part 1, the global privacy benchmark.
So, the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR. It's a massive legal framework built to protect the personal data and privacy of EU citizens. But here is the absolute kicker. It is totally borderless. If you offer goods, services, or even just track the behavior of people in the EU, like using standard web cookies, you have to comply. It doesn't matter if your company is sitting in India or anywhere else outside of Europe. If you touch European data, you're legally on the hook.
And just to give you an idea of the sheer scale of this thing, 99. That's the number of distinct articles within the GDPR that organizations have to navigate. It's not just some quick, simple rule. We're talking about strict, heavy-duty requirements around transparency, accountability, and very specific technical safeguards. You have to keep personal data safe from the exact second you collect it, right down to the moment you hit delete. It's an entire ecosystem of compliance you have to manage.
Which brings us to part 2, weakness to real risk.
So where do businesses usually trip up? Well, there are 3 huge organizational vulnerabilities to keep on your radar. First up is shadow data processing. This is sneaky. It happens when companies collect user data through third-party cookies or plugins without getting explicit consent or having a clear legal reason. You might literally be doing it right now and not even realize it. Then there's a lack of data subject rights. Under GDPR, you have to let users access their data, move it somewhere else, or be totally forgotten, meaning you completely delete everything. Failing to offer those options is a massive red flag. Finally, insecure data transfers. You can't just bounce data across international borders without proper legal safety nets, like standard contractual clauses. Any single one of these weaknesses opens the door to giant risk.
And here is the absolute financial gut punch. 20 million euros, or up to 4% of your annual global turnover, whichever happens to be higher. I mean, that is definitely not a slap on the wrist. Regulators specifically designed these penalties to hurt. They want you motivated. A simple privacy oversight can literally transform into an existential financial crisis for your company overnight.
But wait, the damage isn't just financial. On top of those mind-boggling fines, regulators can hit you with stop processing orders. Let that sink in for a second. They can legally shut down your ability to serve European customers, period. Operations just halt. Plus, think about the irreparable brand damage. A privacy breach destroys the trust of your users globally and makes potential business partners extremely nervous to work with you. You're not just losing cash, you are completely losing your reputation. Okay, let's look at the solution in part 3, the 7-step compliance roadmap. So how do we fix this? The Cyber Ambassador roadmap kicks off with step 1, an initial readiness audit. This is basically a high-level scan of where you currently stand to spot any immediate, glaring gaps. Step 2 is inventory and data mapping. Obviously, you can't protect what you don't even know you have, right? This step creates a detailed map of all the personal data flowing through your business. Then, step 3 is the gap analysis and remediation. This is where experts hand you a crystal-clear technical and legal to-do list to actually patch up your systems. Step 4 is policy and documentation. This is all about drafting custom privacy policies, cookie notices, and data processing agreements, or DPIAs, so your paperwork perfectly matches your real-world practices.
Moving right along, the framework hits step 5, the technical controls audit. Because, let's face it, a piece of paper doesn't stop a data breach. You have to verify that things like encryption, pseudonymization, and strict access controls are actually working in your tech stack. Step 6 focuses on your human firewall with employee awareness training. Your team absolutely needs to know how to handle personal data safely and how to tackle subject access requests when they come in. And wrapping it up, step 7 is continuous compliance support. Privacy laws are constantly shifting, so you need ongoing monitoring to make sure your framework stays ahead of the curve.
Now for the fun part. Part 4, expanding your global market. Because getting this right isn't just about avoiding fines. The business benefits are actually huge.
First, you instantly unlock European markets. You completely knock down the legal barriers to serving one of the wealthiest consumer bases on Earth. Second, you enhance data quality. By auditing exactly what you collect, you get rid of what the tech industry calls data rot. You stop hoarding useless junk data and only keep high-value, actionable information. And third, you future-proof your business. GDPR is basically the gold standard blueprint for new privacy laws popping up everywhere. Do this now, and you're essentially ready for the entire future of global data privacy.
There's a really powerful quote from the source material that hits the nail on the head here. It says, "Demonstrate to your users that you value their privacy as a fundamental right, not just a legal hurdle." I love that. That is the ultimate way to build deep, unshakable trust. When you stop looking at privacy as some annoying compliance checklist and start championing it as a core human right, your brand equity absolutely skyrockets. Finally, part 5, the Cyber Ambassador Advantage. Look, a standard audit is just going to hand you a list of problems. They find the gaps, drop a massive, headache-inducing report on your desk, and basically leave you to figure it out. Cyber Ambassador takes a totally different route. They actively stop the risks. They do this by blending deep, technical cybersecurity chops with really complex privacy law knowledge. It's a 360-degree approach. They don't just point fingers at the issues, they actually secure your environment. And a huge part of that is their core philosophy, privacy by design. Privacy shouldn't ever be a roadblock that slows down your company's innovation. By using privacy by design, Cyber Ambassador makes sure your products, apps, and workflows are secure and fully compliant from the very first line of code. It just gets baked right into your business DNA, making the whole GDPR thing simple so you can stay entirely focused on growing your business. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Are you ready to stop guessing and start securing? We've talked about the terrifying 20 million euro risks, but we've also seen the incredible opportunities for market expansion and the clear 7-step roadmap to actually pull this off. In a completely borderless digital economy, guessing about your privacy posture is just a gamble you cannot afford to take. Take the steps to secure your future today. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.